Hello out there in YouTube land. Welcome to today's video. I am actually in Bountiful, Utah. It's private property, no trespassing. I'm not going to step on the property. I'm not going to go past this sidewalk right here at all. But this is supposedly one of the most haunted places, haunted buildings in the state of Utah.
And he pushed the door open, ran out of the basement, and didn't go into the house the rest of the night.
Okay, I had my GoPro set up there and had a flashlight on. Oh, there it goes, it just turned back on. Tell us if you're up there, show us if you're up there right now by turning off that light. Holy crap.
Anson Call was an early pioneer that came to Utah in 1850s. This home was actually built in 1859, located at 1201 North, 200 West in Bountiful, Utah. This building was actually built in 1859, like I said. It's one of the older homes in the area and a very cool historic home. There's lots of content online about the building, and apparently it is leased out to, well, I shouldn't say apparently, but it's been at one point it at least had been leased out to a local paranormal group. I don't know if that's true or not. Well, it was at one time, but not anymore. Well, I don't know if it is still or not. I shouldn't say it isn't anymore because, well, I've actually done a paranormal investigation at this building once in January of 2020. So literally a couple months before the pandemic hit and everything started shutting down. Before all that happened up, you see private property everywhere. I'm not going to trespass on here at all. But if I can find the video from Paranown Paranormal, or Paranown, I forget the name of the group. I'm sorry, but there's a friend of mine who actually had who held the investigation, invited me to go with them. And I think the paranormal group that owns the building is called Paranosis, owned by a man named Vincent Lords. I know he's got some of his content on YouTube. I'll go ahead and share a link to at least his channel down below. I'm not sure if he's actually done any investigations here, and if I can find like any video that he might have done of an investigation here, then I'll go ahead and share a link either in the card in the video at some point, or I'll go ahead and share his video or his channel link down below in the description box. But I do remember the one time I was here, they let us in. We went through these gates right here, and he had us parked out in the back area. And I had to see if I could find the video that I was part of when I went to go do that investigation with them. But you can see on the side of the house over here, burn marks. I'll see if I can get into that and tell some details about that later on. All right, got a little bit of info about what happened on the side of the house. So in 1997, there was an explosion in the basement of the home. The Kingston family, who was the owners of the home at the time, they evacuated the house with the fire department arriving soon after. The house was believed to be, the cause was believed to be a gas leak that ignited by the water heater kicking in downstairs. So like the whole bottom floor of it is, well, I know like right here in this side of the building, the floorboards are missing, where the only thing that's in that little area are portions of like the cross beams that hold the floor up. The fire damaged much of the northwest interior of the house. So that right here. This is the northeast corner of the house, so it'll be on the opposite side. So like, let me see, let me go back over there. Trying to get over there without trespassing or anything like that. But yeah, the burn marks, what you see over there, that's the northwest side of the building. And this, you got the steps right here, boarded up doorway. There's a boarded up window. There's another boarded doorway. That's about the kitchen area. And the water heater was down below that little area of the building. As the real history of the home began to fade, some tenants and local children began telling stories of ghosts at the home. And I put ghosts in quotations because I still question that. I'm not saying that anybody who does paranormal investigations here are phony or anything like that, because there might be some validity to what they've done here. You know, I just have a rough time believing in paranormal stuff. This unfortunately at times has made the property a magnet for vandals and curiosity seekers, as well as amateur ghost hunter and paranormal entertainment companies seeking to produce online content. So there you go. And I do have to say that Vincent Lords has had the Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans and his Ghost Adventures crew, come do a paranormal investigation here as well. I will go ahead and see if I can at least find the video and link that somewhere in a card here in the video, or even just like put it in the description box below. Now, as for like what is the correct history of the house, I'm going to go ahead and read off some notes. The Anson Call house was built by Mormon pioneer Anson Call in the early years of Bountiful City, in what was then referred to as the Secession Settlement of North Canyon. The Call family set up their homestead in September 1848, 1 year after Bountiful City founder Peregrine Sessions had arrived in 1847, September of 1847. Anson Call began construction on the original one-room stone cabin in 1855, and then 2 main additions were added to the house, with the final sandstone brick structure being completed sometime around 1859. And the Anson Call house has become a landmark in the history of Bountiful City, Utah, as well as early Mormon pioneer history. Anyways, Anson Call died in this Bountiful home on August 31st, 1890, and his wife, Mary Flint Call, lived in the home until she passed away on October 8th, 1901. Their daughter, Mary Vashti Call Parks, obtained the home after her parents' passing. Parks' daughter, Charlotte Parks Rampton, Anson's granddaughter, who was married to William Rampton, great uncle to Utah Governor Cal Rampton, was the next resident. After Parks vacated the home, it was occupied by William Waite, husband of Edith Callista Wadoops, another granddaughter of Anson Call. In 1915, the nearly 60-year-old home was sold to Henry and Edith Allred, its first occupant outside of the Call family. Allred built an extension on the south side of the home, connected to the porch, which he opened as a sanitarium. This wing, they called it, had 14 rooms and 2 baths. The room had open air screens in the summer and were fitted with windows in the winter. In 1916, Allred opened the Bountiful Milk Diet Sanitarium to the public as a sort of specialty spa for the popular diet at the time. And that's right there. So you see the brick part of the building, that's the original part of the building that Anson Call had built, and everything else behind it, well, I should say, the little patio you see right there, that was added on later on. Rooms in the Anson Call house were used for the sanitarium as well. The south front room, which is to the left of that front door right there, that's the left south area. South front room was used as a patient's lounge. The south upstairs room was used for exercise equipment. When all the rooms in the sanitarium wing were occupied, additional tents for patients were pitched up around the yard. 2 of the Allred's older children died of smallpox while living at the house. In July 1920, the house was sold again, this time to Elizabeth Sardoni. Sardoni's son and his wife were music teachers who occupied the south wing rooms formerly used for the sanitarium, which is on this side of the building right here. When Elizabeth's son, Lawrence Sardoni, was 12 years old, he discovered the hidden room underneath the rock barn, once used to harbor polygamists being hunted by U.S. Marshals. Lawrence later became a music professor at BYU and organized and conducted the Grand Junction Symphony Orchestra. Yep, when Anson Call was here, there apparently was downstairs, apparently there used to be tunnels that would lead to other homes, to make it look like there is no polygamy going on in this home, which is illegal here in the country, even back then. So they had external rooms built out that way just in case U.S. Marshals were coming. They can go and hide them out in other houses in the area. So between the years of, 1946 and the 60s, and even into the 70s, the house is sold to other new residents, new owners. And I believe that there is also rumors that even Ted Bundy had abducted in the 70s, had abducted a student from you see there's to the houses over there. There's a high school over there. Apparently Ted Bundy had abducted a student from that high school and killed her here in this house. But you can find online that in the 70s there was a family that was living here that denied that had ever happened in this house, because they were living there at the time of the supposed murder, and they said that Ted Bundy had never even stepped foot in this building at all. As of today, correct me if I'm wrong, from what I read online, there are efforts being put forward by the city of Bountiful to try to purchase this from the owner to restore it to its original glory. Now, whether that's true or not, I have no idea. Again, I'm just here to film it from the sidewalk here. I'm not going to go on the grass or in the yard or trespass or anything like that. I'm just going to be filming from out here. Now, this is kind of a last minute thing that I'm doing right now. I wasn't really planning on going to do this, but I kind of figured it might be fun just to add on to the video a little bit. I am on my way over to the Bountiful City Cemetery to go visit the grave of Anson Call. Just because, why not, you know? All right, so we are now in the Bountiful City Cemetery to visit the grave of Anson Call, which is right here. You see the little obelisk, which is basically right off of the main road, right there. Anyways, Anson Call was born at Fletcher, Vermont, and was baptized as a member of the LDS Church in 1836. He was born on, let's see, just gotta get my dates right. He was born on May 13th, 1810, and he died August 31st, 1890. His father, Cyril Calley, had previously joined the LDS Church in Madison, Ohio. Call initially resisted the preaching of LDS missionaries, but after reading the Book of Mormon and comparing it to the Bible, was convinced to join the LDS Church. Among the missionaries he taught Call, he resided in Madison, where Brigham Young, John P. Green, and Ammon Babbitt Call traveled to Kirtland to be baptized. Kirtland is in Ohio. He basically went on to do a lot of church work for the LDS Church again. Some of his wives, some of his kids, his family. Oh, there you go. Parents, Cyril, his father, and then Sarah Sally Tiffany was his mother. Anyways, he came to Utah either with the LDS pioneers. Let's see here, actually. So he left in 1846, and in 1848 is when he arrived in Utah. So that was about 1848 was the year after Brigham Young came and helped settle Utah, or the Utah Territory. Let's see, you got Mariah, one of his wives, Emma, Margaretta, Mary, and those are his wives. So he had 4 wives, which was common back then. And here's the actual headstone for Anson Call. And he's the one of the original settlers of Bountiful. And I believe he may have even been the first mayor of the city. But yeah, that's all I can really tell about him. But he's actually buried about 2 or 3 miles from his house. His house is actually out that way. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Kind of a little bit of a freaky history with this house, but go ahead and check out the links down below to see I think by now I should have been able to find the paranormal investigation that I did with my friend back in 2020, in January 2020. And there's also, if you look around the internet, Anson Call house, you'll be able to find a lot of other paranormal groups that went out and did paranormal investigations there, including the Ghost Adventures, Zach Bagans, the one that's on Travel Channel, or at least used to be. I don't watch the show anymore. I haven't watched that show in like 10 years, 10, 15 years. Anyways, if I can find the episode that he was on, that he did here, I'll go ahead and add that in either a card, at some point during the video, or even down below in the description box. And I'll do the same thing for my friend's video that I was part of. If I can find his video on YouTube, I'll go ahead and include it somewhere in a card or in the description box down below. Also, don't forget to check out the other links that I have for Instagram, TikTok, Discord, you know, all the typical places where I usually post. I'm most active on Instagram, actually. So you'll more than likely see me post pictures of the house or even submit a link and stuff like that. So if you ever want to get in touch with me, find me on Instagram. I'll put the link down below. Anyways, thanks for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it and have a good day.